Welcome to this video about how to do a three-legged downward dog. Today I'm basically going to show you how you can work your way up into getting this stretch in just a few simple steps. So let's get into step number 1, which is going to be about the stretches you need to be able to do beforehand. And the first one is a normal downward dog, which might be pretty obvious, but just make sure that you have your balance down in this skill, and then you can start with your three-legged downward dog. And another stretch that is not as necessary, but it's pretty useful to have, are the splits. And this is because once you're in a three-legged downward dog, you're basically doing a split. So it just makes it a bit easier if you also have some split flexibility to start with, but you can still learn a three-legged downward dog without being able to do the splits. Now let's get into step number 2, and step number 2 is going to be kind of like a warm-up step. So what we're going to do is start with having both our legs straight and standing up. Then we're going to put both of our hands down on the ground while kicking one of our legs up. Here you are practicing kicking your leg up like you will in the three-legged downward dog, and it can also be good just to get into the feeling of it before you actually try it. But once you feel done with that, we can move on to step number 3, which is where we are actually going to start in a downward dog position. And this step is really just for you to practice your balance a little bit. So just try to have your leg completely straight and lift it up off the ground. And for some of you, this might be very easy. So if you already feel super confident here, chances are you can already just go right into a three-legged downward dog. But if you're struggling a bit with balance, it can help to start like this. After this, we're moving on to step number 4. And here we're actually going to bend our leg instead of keeping it straight. And think of it almost as if you're trying to reach your foot to your head. The important part about this step is kind of your change of position. Having your leg up like this and trying to reach your foot to your head is going to make you bend your back in the way that you need to. Because once we're doing a three-legged downward dog, we're not going to have a completely straight back, and we're going to have to try to reach our leg up in a certain way. So that's what you're practicing here. But when you feel like you've got that down, step number 5 is maybe not even really a step, because this is just to simply go from bent leg to straight leg. And then you have your three-legged downward dog. And once you've got this stretch, it's just a really good stretch to be able to incorporate into your daily routine, because it stretches basically your entire body. It stretches all the parts of your legs, it stretches your shoulders and your back, and it's also really good for balance. All around, it's one of my favorite stretches, and that's why I made a whole video about it. You can also do a sort of dynamic version of this stretch where you basically kick your leg up and down like this. I hope this video helped you get your three-legged downward dog. If there's anything you feel like you need help with, just make sure to ask me in the comments. But that was everything for this video, so I really hope you enjoyed it, and thank you so much for watching.